Alright, let's get to work. We will be making a new project, so select File, New Project. Here that is the project location, so I will be setting it up in the documents. Let's name it whatever we want, so first let's make sure 3D is selected. I will be choosing all of the imports so we have the most assets available in case we need them. Click, click, click. Okay, let's click Create and wait for it to import all of the stuff. This can take a while depending on the number of imports and your computer specifications. Come on. Okay, here we go. Let's close this. Oh, I have the game view here again. Let's put it back. Here it is. Prefer to have it there, so let's keep it there. The game view shows the game as it will look to the player. The scene view shows the whole game world with all of the objects, even invisible objects such as the camera and such. So let's start. Let's create a plane which will serve as the floor. I will rename it the floor, just floor. The arrows present the gizmo for translation, which means movement. You can use it to move the game object. You can switch it from this menu to rotation, scaling, and such. This can be also done from the transfer menu in the inspector, like this. We will reset all of that. Now let's create the player, which will be the sphere. No, this is not what I want. We will be recreating the ball game tutorial from the Unity official page, which will serve as a good base for the game. Just the base. Let's rename it player. Okay. As we can see from the game view, we lack lights, so we need to illuminate the scene. So let's create a directional light. Let's rotate it as necessary. This looks okay. Now let's create another light, which will help us create a better outline for the objects. Let's choose a color, like blue, nice blue color. Lower the intensity to 0.2, no shadows, and make it opposite values from the other light. So it's -50 and 30 compared to what? This will be 50 and -30. And in the game view it looks pretty nice, so we will be keeping it. One more thing, we need shadows, so let's choose soft shadows. Very high resolution from the resolution menu. And to have better organization, we will create an empty object, name it lighting. It will serve as a folder for the lights. Now we can move them out of the way. Since it doesn't matter where the lights are, it only matters what rotation they have. So we have more space in here. So that's that. In the player we need to add a physics component, so it has a physics model, so let's add a rigid body. From that menu you can set the mass of the object, if it uses gravity, and collision detection settings. All nice and simple, no need to worry about physics engines. And now we will want to move, so let's add a component, a script, new script. I will name it controller. In C#, create and add, edit, script. This will open MonoDevelop, which is the IDE for Unity. It'll take a second to load, a second or more. Okay. We will not need this. Update is called once per frame. That is the precision we need, so let's keep it. So we will need to parse the input. So let's use input, get axis, horizontal, get axis vertical, and assign it to a variable. So let's create a float horizontal, float vertical. There is a useful command in this IDE. You can find the shortcut in the options, key bindings, help, Unity API reference. This shortcut you can change it when you highlight something like this and press the shortcut. It will show the documentation and search. In here you can look up all of the necessary information. Here is the getAxis function, and as we can see, it uses the default input device and gets the information about the axis from that. So we will be using it. Okay. In our case, it's the keyboard and the WASD buttons. Now we need a vector to store the values. Movement, for example, and assign the values to it. Horizontal 0.0f because we will not be moving on the y-axis. Vertical. Okay. And the last thing, we need to send the information to the physics model, and the physics model is managed by the rigid body. So let's rigid body. Yes, that's correct. Add force. No. 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 And what is it? I thought it was add force. It is add force, so what's the problem? Oh, it's not a capital R, it's a regular R. Add force. Movement. And we will need to scale the speed of movement. So we will create a public variable speed it's public, so we can access it from the unit itself, multiply by that, and the last thing we need to multiply it by time, delta time, which will make the physics independent from the frame rate of the game. It's a pretty complex issue, you can look it up, but we do not need to get in depth in Unity, so let's keep it at that. Save, and let's test it. Play. What? Oh, bad habit from OpenGL. And we are moving very slowly, so let's make it 300, and that's much better. Okay, we will save the scene to the assets first, and that is everything for the first tutorial. So in the next tutorial we will be adding the actual Oculus Rift integration. It's pretty simple, so it will not be much of a problem. So next video then. See you.